What's your take? Did you see inflation jumping again? What we've seen, 22.79% to 24.08% for July?
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, it was expected that inflation will further increase because of the subsidy removal, the rise in PMS, and also the floating of the naira. So it was expected. I'm even surprised it's not that even this. It's not even higher. You see, once you float the naira, which is not convertible, you're going to have problems because you now need more naira to buy dollars and import whatever you want to import. So what we call the foreign exchange pass-through is also fueling the inflation rate. The issue with the forex is a supply problem, supply and access. Once your currency is not convertible at naira, you don't float the currency openly. You do a managed float. The problem with the old regime was that they allow the gap to be too wide without closing it up. As long as your economy is not productive and you don't export non-oil goods and services to the foreign exchange, we are going to have this problem.
So, Prof, how long do you see us in this quagmire with the problem of removal of subsidy?
Let me say that we are going to have it for a long time. Except government now decides to intervene and subsidize certain sectors of the economy. When we say subsidy, it's not only oil and gas or whatever. You can subsidize education, health, infrastructure, and things like that. Otherwise, it's going to be we're going to have it for a long time. And my worry is that we will not come up with what we call runaway inflation. And then the insecurity in the country is also a major problem. Farmers have no access to their farm. So that also is fueling the inflation rate. So we're going to have this inflation rate for a very long time. It's very dangerous because inflation hurts the poor, and in the medium and long term, it's going to even hurt the so-called middle class because the rich can draw from savings to survive for a while. So the sooner the government intervenes and change direction, the better. Otherwise, we're in for more and more hardship.
How important is setting up a cabinet to see that, they hit the ground running to really help some of these other sectors that you've mentioned?
Well, it's important to set up a cabinet and hit the ground running, but once you know that you're going to be in power, you should have taken care of some of this before even the cabinet comes into place. But even in the cabinet, you are hoping that you have people who are conversant with the realities of the economy and will put in place policies that will check some of these excesses. What we are seeing here is that the president himself and perhaps his advisors and his policy documents, it depends more on what we call market fundamentalism. And once you depend heavily on the market, you're going to have these problems. Rather, you should see the market as an instrument and not completely depend on the market. And that's why you have this open of the forex market. So you can have a cabinet, but the cabinet has to understand the economy, and that we don't have to take everything that the IMF World Bank says. We should look at our own reality, and on the basis of that, we should now put in place policies that will address the problems of our economy. What we are doing now, we're depending so much on the market, and in some cases where the market doesn't exist, we're trying to force it. So market fundamentalism will be a major problem instead of addressing certain issues, which means that government should intervene and into important sectors, as I said earlier, health, education, infrastructure.
All right.
And every country that wants to move forward, wants to fast track growth and development, must do what we call a developmental state approach to the economy, not what we are seeing now.
Many thanks, Professor Expo. Thank you for joining us on the News at 10 tonight.
For having me.